Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, question of the night, or the day. Is Thomas the ultimate simp on the ball and the beautiful? Now, with me at this point, you should know who she is. She needs no introduction. She has a YouTube channel of her own. And if you're not subscribed to her channel, you just head over there and then you can just come back and join us. Once again, Dannybear87, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about y'all?
Yeah.
You,
So
y'all,
yeah,
anybody's watching?
anyone that's going to be watching later on. So yes, do you think that Thomas is the ultimate sin? On the ball and the beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The poor thing. Oh, Lordy. I just wanted to
So-
hug him. Hope being so mean to him. He's a good one. Yeah, this just shows that he really has changed because he really took that well.
He took that ish way well. He took it well, and you saw the previews, right?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
Yeah. Paramount Plus doesn't show the previews. Well, they do for Young and the Restless, but not for Bold and Beautiful.
yeah, it actually showed it for both of them. What's good, Deborah? Thank you for joining. Yeah, he still wants to be with her. He still wants. He literally said to her, he's like something along the lines of, "Let me treat you better. I can treat you better than him," or something like that. I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? She literally dumped you to go back to her husband because her husband doesn't want it. It's like, oh, it's cool. I'll take you back now. Like, really? You're cool with being a constellation prize? Because at that point, that's what he is, right?
Pretty much.
Then constellation prize. Unbelievable.
Mm-mm. Makes me think of that Joe song, "All the Things Your Man Won't Do." You ever listen to the lyrics of that song? That song's hilarious.
I gotta go back and listen. I gotta go back and listen to JoJo.
And I was like, I've heard the song for years, but just one day I just like really listened to the lyrics. I'm like, this is hilarious. Sexy but hilarious. Poor Thomas. And I still don't understand this. Hope was trying to get Liam to give her a second chance, but she didn't tell him that she went 6 rounds with Thomas.
That's true, and that's the thing. And Liam didn't sit there and tell Hope that he kissed Steffi twice. So
Yeah.
they're both going back into this whole, like, even if they would have said, you know what, let's just put it behind us, let's just move on, they still would have been going in with these lies that were just going to wind up breaking them up anyway.
Yeah.
So
Because eventually somebody else is going to find out about one or both of what they did and tell the other one.
yeah,
Matter of time.
and Brooke and her little Karen ass is like, I remember she said something that irked the living life out of me. She was like, I just felt that Thomas should have respected Hope's marriage. Yeah, yeah, that's what she said. That made sense in her head.
Lordy. She know her daughter is the one that jumped on him.
Yeah, and that's
He
and
didn't do nothing to her. She's the one. I mean, Thomas even said it. It's like, you pursued me. And she's like, yeah, I did. So what does Brooke not understand that? She's like one of those moms that their kid can't do no wrong. It's like,
yeah,
that's so annoying.
really, exactly, really irritating people that do that. And it's like, also, I feel like some people like her are kind of what I want to call PPMs, professional point missers. The whole point is that your daughter jumped on him. She pursued him. So to sit there and say he should respect her marriage, it's like that doesn't make any sense. She should have respected her own marriage. If we're
Yeah.
gonna be honest, that's what it comes down to. No, that's cool. Let's blame Thomas for that. Let's just blame Thomas for that.
She might as well just come out and tell Bridge, I don't like your kid. She might as well, because that's just what she's doing. It's basically what he asked her. I think it was Monday's episode, Monday or Tuesday's episode when they were talking. He like basically asked her, "What, you don't like my kid or something?" Because she said that it was Thomas that was messing up Hope and Liam's marriage or something like that.
Hmm.
That's what I don't get. Why don't you just say she don't like Thomas?
My whole thing is like, I don't understand why you just not sitting there checking your wife harder for that. Like seriously, check your wife. Like the fact that she keeps saying this stuff over and over again, and Ridge will sit there and say something like, "No, you got to remember, it was Hope that pursued my son or whatever." And she's like, "I know," and I'm like, you kind of need to sit there and really beat that into. I mean, metaphorically speaking, you need to really hammer that into her because it's like she's not getting it. You know, she's not getting it.
Stubborn. Oh, Lordy. Yeah.
Now you got Eric. What do you think of Eric and his meltdown, his epic meltdown? Come on.
I'm like, oh Lordy, what's going on with this? He getting mad over the stapler. I'm like, oh Lordy. I'm like, I thought this was just gonna be like a little thing that they mentioned, the week before, just like a one-off thing. But now it's like they're gonna turn this into a storyline. They're gonna give Eric a storyline. What?
Yeah,
I was like, he's like about to take over the whole company again. He's gonna create the best line ever. I'm like, oh Lordy, what are you about to do?
well, see, here's the thing, though. Um, Here's the thing. You say take over the company, but technically that was his company to begin with. So
Yeah,
he's not really take. He's just kind of just taking it back in a sense.
yeah,
But that's the thing. That you see, that's the thing. It's not even so much about the stapler. It's a metaphor for the fact that you're just throwing out his old stapler like he's
hmm
practically pushing him out the door. Oh, go play pickleball. Go be with Donna. Go sailing. Go on the beach or something like that. It's like you
yeah,
basically they're just kind of throwing him out the pasture, and that's not what a person, especially in that age, needs to hear. That they're practically just Also, when he okay, here's something he said. This is the level of so he was like, people are coming to my office all the time, having their lunch breaks. I can't get anything done. You got Steph, you got everyone here. And
yeah,
it's the level of taking him for granted. That's what it comes down to. There's a level of respect, and that I can understand that.
yeah. I was always confused who office that was because it's like everybody was always in there.
Exactly. You confuse who office that is. Ain't that something? You gotta be confused about whose office that is. That's the problem.
Like I seen everybody else in there way more than Eric is.
Exactly in his own office. Ain't that something? And that's what my dude is like, I'm taking charge, I'm taking it back. And I'm with it. I'm with it.
He definitely should. Because it just seems like Steffi and Rich are just running the show. It's like Eric is just an afterthought of everything.
Yeah. And somebody, I'm not gonna sit there and say who, but somebody was like, well, they didn't tell him because there was a lot of times he actually wasn't at the office. He was pickleballing and
Hmm.
cheating on Quinn and all sorts of stuff like that. So it was like basically it's like they felt like he stepped away from the office. He stepped away from his role, and it's like no one told him to do that. So it's like him coming back and him giving all this attitude. It's like nobody told you to leave. You decided you want to do other things, but I mean, it's his company. He can come and go whenever he wants. When he
Yeah,
wants to come back and he wants to be respected, that respect should be there, regardless of how long he's been gone for.
yeah, very true. Because y'all wouldn't have a job if it weren't for him.
Exactly. And somewhere along the lines, I mean, Ridge clearly forgot that. Forgot who's in charge and everything of that nature. Um, Now, have you been keeping up with the quote unquote mustache man? For like 2 seconds, I'm probably gonna have to sit there and step away because I have to sit there and talk to my dad about something. So I'm gonna have you run the show for like a good 3 or 4 minutes. But have you actually been keeping up with YNR?
Yeah, actually, I just watched last week's episode. Oh lordy, this dude, he confusing me. I'm like, what exactly is he trying to do? He's like, he's mad at Adam, but he's gonna go along with his plan because he talked to Nate. It's like, what?
Nate the
And
Great.
why is he listening to Nate anyways? That's just weird. And then Audra coming to him like, so do I still have a job or not? And he's like, I'd be a fool to let you go. Lordy, what is he trying to do? And then the whole stuff with Sally offering her a job and then saying, "Oh no, I'm not going that direction anymore." So it's like, is he just bored and just playing the game? It's like it just changes his mind every day or something. He's just getting on my nerves as usual. At least I'm not walking
Uh,
around just chilling at the ranch. Everybody come to him.
that's what I love. That's what I love. That's why he's the great Victor Newman. He summons people to him. He's like, come to the ranch. I need you here like ASAP, and they come. That's just how it is. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I feel like it's more of a dictatorship at that point with him, but that's. But here's the thing, though. Okay, so I understand. A lot of people was like, "That's really foul. You're gonna ask Nate for advice, but you're not gonna sit there and ask Sharon and whoever else." Here's the thing, though. If you're doing an honest assessment of a company, aren't you going to sit there and not really point out so much of the weaknesses of your company as opposed to if you have an outside person do it? That's like if somebody sit there and ask me or ask somebody else, hey, what do you think of our chef? Now, if they ask me, I'll be like, well, it's positive, it's great, and there's some times or whatever. But if you ask somebody else that's an outside perspective, they're going to sit there and give you more honest feedback.
Yeah.
So, as much as people don't like that, I get why he called Nate in. I get that. I did think it was kind of stupid that Audrey was like, "So do I have a job? Like, I'm gonna be here Monday morning, right? Like good." It was pretty stupid. Not gonna lie, it was dumb.
She shouldn't have a job. I do not like that chick.
Uh, that's too bad.
I think Mustache likes her.
You know damn well about Miss Cosby. Let's be honest, we're adults here.
No, it's just everything about her just gets on my nerves. I mean, the actress is good, but the character, ugh.
I know she's a snake. I know she's a snake. I mean, but see, that's the thing though. Like, you need that right balance, right?
Mhm.
Because she is a character that you don't like. She's very snaky and slimy, and she's out about herself, and she'll double cross anyone. But you need somebody like that.
Yeah.
And I felt like they tried to do that with Chanel in the beginning, right? But they went too far left to a point where she was just insufferable. Like, remember when you had the first actress that played her? You had two actresses that played Chanel. One was a more dark skinned,
Which show?
Days of Our Lives.
Oh, Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, you remember Chanel when she first came in?
I was like,
Like she
who is Chanel on Young and the Restless?
I know. I should have put the days in there.
I was like, wait, hold on.
But you remember that though, right? When she first came in, like I felt like she was. I get what they were going for, but she got. It was at a point where it's like she was just unwatchable. You know, like she was doing things where you can't even like. Okay, so when she kept sitting there looking at Eli up and down and stuff like that more than once while she sitting there staying on somebody else's couch and acting like she didn't understand why Lonnie was so upset. I'm like, oh, you are staying on her couch and you are practically degrading her husband. And you're sitting there acting like you don't understand why that's a problem. So it's like it got to a point where she was I felt like she was unwatchable, which is if you notice they shifted her character when they brought in a new actress.
Yeah, because it seemed like she was like a gold digger because she married Xander, and then she got mad
Mm-hmm.
because found out he don't have no money.
Which is really stupid because I'm like, well, I get that you can't get access to your money right now, but you still have money. Your mom is rich. This is
Yeah.
the reason. This is the reason why they shut down her bakery. It was like it did suck because I don't like the new mayor, but I'm also just like, oh, you're rich. Like you can get up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you're not worried about money or anything like that.
Mhm.
Like you literally live with your mom, who is rich. So are we supposed to feel that bad that she lost her job?
Well, I
That's
guess it's her business. I guess that
I
feels
get that.
bad. And I guess the way that it was done too is kind of messed up too, because not
Yeah,
like she didn't really do anything that to really deserve that to happen. Now, if she would have did something to deserve it, then maybe not. Even though I'm a fan, I'm a Chanel fan, but yeah, she
yeah, I
really
get that.
well, not this time. She didn't do nothing. She was innocent.
Yeah, and that's the thing that just that annoyed me because I feel like the okay. So I said something about the mayor, which I feel might be true. You ever heard? Okay, I feel like the dude is racist. Let's just be very clear about that.
Mhm.
The way he's been acting, him firing rape. I mean, okay, maybe the firing rape might have been the racist part, but I feel like the way he came at Chanel was just like, really? And then you got rid of her work because she didn't hold up a sticker or something.
Yeah, which I
I don't
think
know.
I think he's behind that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just my whole thing. It's like I feel like he's part of the quote unquote Proud Boys. Have you ever heard of that term before?
Mm-mm.
Seriously, you never heard of that term? The Proud Boys?
I might have. I forgot.
It's probably a good thing anyway.
Um, but yeah, I was having a feeling that maybe he was sexist, but then I was like, well, maybe he's racist too. So I was like, wondering if that where they were going with the storyline, but I don't know. We'll just see. Because you
'Cause,
know, things
yeah,
are lives. They'll start a storyline, and then at the end they'll say just because he's racist, just like with Talia. It's like it turned into emotional abuse at the end. It's like, well, you could have like made that clear in the beginning, then maybe I would have maybe felt a little bad for Talia, but I don't feel bad for her because that was an emotional abuse. That's just
thank
an
you,
that's just an excuse to
thank you.
keep her around.
I'm so glad you said that because that ish has just been bothering me for so long. When people were just like, because people were actually siding with her. Yeah, Colin really emotionally abused her. I was like, no, he didn't. She was
That's
just
not
stupid. That was just stupid. She was just stupid.
yeah.
Because I mean, if that's the case, that if I ever cheated on someone I was with, I could sit there and say, well, you know what? It's not my fault. She emotionally abused me. He said she was going to withhold the knock and boost thing. If I didn't do it, so it's not my fault. Like, come on. But I mean, yeah, you think about that. Even with the mayor, he chose somebody who was drinking on the job as
Yeah.
opposed to Jada. Like, really?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like I have a theory that he might just be racist, and I hope that I'm wrong, but it ain't looking good for him. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also he just wanted somebody in his pocket that would do shady stuff for him. You know, Jada wouldn't do that. And Sean is easily manipulated.
Sure.
Yeah, he's
The
enough.
guy is the king of the guy's the king of I don't want to sit there and say pity parties, but just constantly blaming himself for like everything that wound up happening.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Sean. It's like they want to write my favorite characters like stupid idiots. I'm like, Lordy. So I'm wondering if they're gonna push him out the show too when Martha leaves. But I didn't see anything about Brandon leaving. So I don't know,
I hope
but
he,
I'm surprised.
I hope he doesn't. I mean, I get it. Like, if you look at Ben and Sierra, it's like, Sierra left, so they had to kind of get rid of the Ben character in a sense. So then they just brought him back as a new character. But it's one of those things where it's like, he shouldn't have to lose his position at his job because his co-star decided to leave.
Yeah.
Um, but
Especially when they're about to I'm sure they're going to bring Bo out the coma eventually and finish up his storyline. So Sean needs to be there for that.
yeah, and now you got Philip that he's back, but he's a different actor, and
Mm,
that's all sorts of weird. But with Days of Our Lives, they rarely. It seems like they rarely will recast, right? Unless they have to, like the whole Eric.
Yeah.
Because they got another Eric right now. But they don't recast unless they have to. So it's like I don't know what they're gonna do with Sean's character since Martha is actually leaving the show. You
Yeah.
know?
I don't know. Maybe she'll just be done with Sean and just go somewhere.
Yeah, it just. But I sit there and I look at that and I'm like, I, I don't know, don't know. I want to quickly switch back to Y&R, right? With the whole Nick and Sally thing. Nick, Sally, and Adam. Right? What do you think of that? What do you think of that whole thing? I'm gonna have you go first. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts after.
That's just a whole mess. Like, why is that even still a thing? Sally and Adam should be together, and Nick should be with Sharon. Like, I don't know, what is the writers have a problem with putting people together that's supposed to be together? That makes sense.
I'll be right back. You can keep going.
It's like a big old mess. Like, why would Nick even still want to be with Sally? She cheated on him, made a baby with Adam, and now Adam is still talking with Sally, basically low key trying to win her back. And she's still going to Adam. And then Nick comes over and then he's like, wait, what's going on here? And Sally's like, oh, this is all innocent and stuff. I'm like, girl, you wanted to go see Adam. Stop it. And then she purposely goes there all covered up too, so Adam doesn't get any ideas. Yeah, and then Nick gets all mad because Adam offered her a position and talked to him. No, you're just mad because you don't want Sally to work there because then she'll be close to Adam, and her and Adam used to have all that office sex. That's my theory.
All right, that's interesting. See, I look at it, and granted, I here's the thing. I do get where Nick is coming from because it's like if you're gonna hire somebody, we don't have to sit there and have a formal meeting. Just give me a heads up. Like, hey, listen, we're gonna hire Sally because our dad practically kept her over, you know? But not sitting there saying anything and just making these decisions without letting them know. It's not that big of a deal, but it's still just like, bro, really? My issue with some of the people that like Adam and Sally together is that they blame Nick for this whole thing. And I'm like, Sally made the choice of being with Nick. So why are people so pissed? Why are people so mad at Nick? Like Nick stole Sally away, and that's not how that went. Like if you're gonna be mad at somebody, be mad at Sally because Sally chose somebody who's not gonna love her as much as Adam. But that's on Sally. I wish people would stop blaming Nick for something that Sally chose. It's like, are we gonna sit there and start blaming Nick for pollution and famine and everything else? Like, I don't get that level of thinking. It's like we're not gonna hold her accountable, but we'll sit there and be like, oh, it was Nick's fault. Nick should sit there and step aside. Why?
He should.
Sally chose to be with her. But Sally chose to be with her. So that's on Sally. That's not on Nick. That's the issue that I have. People,
Yeah.
it's like people don't like Nick so much, which I get, but they get to a point where they get irrational and they start blaming Nick for stuff that they really shouldn't. That's just my thing.
Yeah. People usually like to blame the other person, even though
Yeah.
it's, not their fave when they're the ones that did dirty. Yeah, especially in a relationship. But I think Sally just really stays with Nick because she's afraid to go back to Adam and go through stuff because she knows how he is. So Nick is like the safe choice.
Nick is a safe choice. And I get that people are just like, Nick is a safe choice and that's why she's choosing it because Nick doesn't love Sally. Like Nick is not in love with Sally. He loves her, but he's not in love with her. And those are two completely different emotions. So
Yeah,
I get why exactly, and I get why people want Adam with Sally, but I'm like, again, that's on Sally.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Now we got, huh?
Nick doesn't have anybody else, so he's with
Yeah.
Sally. And I think low key, it's just to piss off Adam too.
Everyone always says that. Everybody always see. I can't believe that, but I'm a respect your opinion on that.
I think so. I think so. Low key, low key. He might not admit it, but low key inside of him, he knows he likes that. That's how he wants him because it pisses off Adam.
Yeah, but and that's another thing. So like even if I did agree with that on some level, and even though I was like, oh, he's with her and he knows it's pissing her off, doesn't matter because Sally still chose him. Like she has a brain, she could sit there and decide who she wants to sit there and be with. You know. So it's like people are mad. It's like, oh, but they could just sit there rubbing it in her face. I'm like, man, Sally's a grown adult. She could sit there and make her choices. She wants to sit there and choose somebody who is not as good as, Adam. That's on her. Let's all sit there and blame her. You know.
Yeah, it's the
That's
trauma. She'll come through one day and see the light.
yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting. I'll sit there and say that much. It's interesting. Um, I just, here's the thing. I just feel like sometimes with fans, with some fans, they can't be objective when it comes to their favorite characters. Uh, when I was doing a live stream before, and I was like, and I said the same thing to you about the whole Nick situation. People were just like, well, I blame them both. I'm like, but you're still blaming the wrong person. It's like you can't be objective because you just don't like Nick. Um, it's like I don't like Nina, right? I really don't. But no, I don't like Spencer, right? I really, what I said about Spencer before.
Yeah.
But I don't like the way that Portia Smith they're coming at Spencer because no one deserves that level of disrespect.
Yeah.
Like I can be objective enough, even though I can't stand his ass with a passion. I'm still gonna sit there and be like, nah, that's BS. But some people can't do that, which I always find really interesting when I'm talking to people, and I'm just like,
I'm like, where are you even coming from trying to defend this idiot? I'm like, I'm the first person to call out my favorite. They're being stupid. Nah, I don't do that. They don't do no wrong kind of stuff. Like, some of my favorite characters are the stupidest characters on the show.
yes.
But
Now
like,
getting into GH, right? Getting into GH. Do you think that Sprina Nation is dead? Do you think that relationship it's cooked, is done, it's a wrap? Where's that?
yeah, I honestly can't see how they could possibly make this work. I mean, there's possibilities to make it work, but I have a feeling the writers aren't really trying to make it work. It's like they're just throwing everything they possibly can at them for no reason. Like the only way to get rid of this problem with them is to get rid of Esme, first of all, and get rid of Esme and Ace, and I don't see that happening. I can't believe that they would bring back Nicholas.
You don't think they are, or
I just don't feel like they are. Like they're doing all this talk about Lulu. I don't believe she's gonna be woken up.
I feel like she is. I feel like there's a possibility that Lulu's gonna wake up and it's gonna be what's her name? Emma Ryans? I think that's her name. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna bring her back because I've seen them tease that on Instagram. Well, like the ABC whatever the soap page is for like ABC or whatever. So they had her on there. So I think they're gonna have her back. But getting back in the spring, right? Which, by the way, I generally do hate saying that name, but I'm saying it for the sake of this conversation. So here's the thing: there's two obstacles that's in the way. There is Esme. There's also Portia,
Yeah.
because Portia keeps getting in Spencer's head, doubting him, making him doubt himself that he belongs. He deserves to be with Trina, right? On top of that, These are very complicated situations, right? I mean,
Mhm.
could you imagine you actually you're 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 dating somebody and they're living with their ex? Would you even want to deal with that if you're dating somebody who's living with their ex?
No.
No. And why is that? Because that's baggage. Okay, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with complicated. So that's already a mess for Trina. Why should she have to deal with that?
Hmm. Yeah. She's young. She can go out and find whoever. I mean, I am a Spencer and
Exactly.
Trina fan, but if I wasn't a fan of them, I would say they shouldn't be together. Because that's just too much, especially since he's always with her, and because of Ace. Okay, I can understand you want to be there for your brother, but you don't need to be there 24/7. It's like he's not your kid, he's your brother. And I understand you don't trust Esme, but still, you don't need to be around him 24/7. That's just stupid. And you trying to have a girlfriend at the same time. I'm like, if Portia is telling you to stay away from her, then just break up with her and let Trina find out that her mother is trying to push you and Esme together. That's basically what she's trying to do, telling Esme to stay in town, basically. Like, she got my nerves. And then she's gonna show up at the gallery acting like she didn't know Spencer was there when Ava just told her he was there. I'm like, you just being fake.
But not only that, remember when she came in and she said she was like, "Oh, how's the parenting classes going?" Like she said that on purpose because she knew it was going to bother Trina. She said that on purpose. So yes, and I get that from Trina's side, but then I also sit there and I look at it from Spencer's side. The fact that I'm defending Spencer means that it's literally a cold day in hell, right? So look at it this way. I feel bad for Spencer because he wants to be with Trina, but he has to sit there and deal with her disrespectful mom. And nobody should have to deal with that, right? Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, listen, Spencer got money, he has looks. Why is he sitting there dealing with a complicated situation when he has to sit there and deal with a woman that's being combative and disrespectful every single time? I wouldn't put up with that. And I don't know what person in their right mind would want to sit there and deal with that. So I'm just like, yo, listen, I think Trina's cute and everything like that, but if I gotta sit there and put up with her mom, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm out. So yeah, I feel the same way as far as like they should probably break up. Plus they're young. They're young. They
Yeah,
have so much stuff in the way. It's like why are you dealing with this for?
yeah.
Why wants to deal with that?
They both have way too much drama going on with them.
Yeah. 19, 20 years old? Come on. Nah, I'm good.
It's just that's just way too much. I'm like, it's kind of hard to want to fight to want them together with all this stuff going on. It's like, why do I like them? And then they have those cute moments. I'm like, oh, and then bam, there's the drama again. I'm like, oh, Lord, just get them off my TV. It's annoying. This show, I swear, they just love to mess with my favorite couples.
Speaking of surprises, what do you think about Cyrus being the boss? Cyrus being the boss of Mason and Austin. He's the boss. Nobody else. There's not a woman apparently because they switched genders because that made sense to them. What do you
That's
think of
stupid.
it?
It should have been a woman.
Uh,
Should have been Faith Roscoe.
actually, to tell you the truth, one of my friends, Jonathan, actually was saying the same thing. He was hoping that it was Faith Roscoe. He kept telling me in the chat, it's like, I think it's Faith Roscoe. And then they switched it around. It's like, nope, it's a guy now. Like out of nowhere. They just
Faith was.
rewrote that because that made sense.
I don't think they really knew who the boss was going into this, and they just decided to go with Cyrus. Because they're like, who could we possibly get the boss? Oh yeah, let's go with Cyrus. They didn't think they had that really thought out. Because the storyline's been dragging on for over a year now.
Yeah.
And so it's just like with the hook. They just go in like really hard, and then it's like slow, and like you didn't see it for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden Heather's the hook. It makes no sense. Heather and Cyrus are in prison. They shouldn't be able to have this much power over people outside of prison. It makes no sense. With all the bad guys and girls you could think of on the show or past on the show, you could have brought back to do all this. It made sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. I thought that was pretty stupid. But see, that's rewriting. That's what happens when you rewrite stuff. Now, for me
Mhm.
personally, I was cool with Heather being the hook killer, just like I'm cool with Cyrus being the boss. But I've realized something when it comes to assaults. You're never going to please everyone. You're
Yeah.
never going to please everyone. I mean, I think the goal is probably to try to please the majority of the audience,
Mhm.
and sometimes this is where they kind of fail at. But they're never going to sit there and please everyone. It's impossible.
Mhm.
I get it.
Yeah. I
I
like Cyrus, and I'm gonna give it a try. 'Cause I said, don't judge a book by its cover. Give it a chance to play out. I do like Cyrus, but yeah, finding out he was the boss kind of was a, yeah, bit of a letdown. But I'm gonna give it a try because it gives me more Cyrus, definitely. But I think in the end, Drew's gonna look really stupid for saving him. So feeling Cyrus is gonna do something really messed up, and Drew's gonna feel like an idiot, like he should be. Because first of all, him being in prison is stupid because he's an idiot,
Yep.
and then now saving Cyrus, he just looks like the biggest idiot in Port Charles. Not saying a lot, because there's a lot of idiots in Port Charles.
You know, it's really crazy the fact that Drew didn't seem like he even wanted to try to fight to get out when Carly was like, "Let me get Diane. Let me sit there and really help you get out." He's like, "No, I don't want to sit there and get my hopes up." I'm like, bro, the fact that you have a little girl in the outside world, you should be fighting like hell. But it's like you just don't care. I mean, well, granted, he doesn't care unless it has anything to do with Carly. Then he'll care.
Mhm,
Then he'll sit there. And He'll move mountains. For his daughter,
mhm.
I'll stay inside for another 3 years. I'm good. No biggies. No big
Yeah.
deals. That makes sense.
Yeah, I
That
can see him.
Jesus Christ.
I can see him trying to get out if he finds out that Cyrus is the boss and he tries to do something to Carly or something. I can see him trying to do
Exactly.
that.
Yes. Ain't that
Seems.
something? That's what's going to be his motivation.
Mm-hmm. Oh lordy! And then Austin revealing that he knows that Nicholas is alive and he saved him, but still lying to Ava. I was
You
like, "Are
know,
you serious? Really?"
I'm not gonna. I didn't see that coming though.
I didn't see that
I didn't
either.
see that coming.
That
Which
was straight.
is
I was like, "What? You know her husband's alive and you still slept with her?"
well. I mean, yeah, I can see how that's a very sleaze back thing to do. And I can, I can see that. I get that. That's some scumminess
That's
to
very
do. Yeah,
sneaky.
that's
Yeah, like Ryan did. He killed Kiki, but still gonna have a relationship with Ava and lying to her because he's playing, pretending to be Kevin. I was like, well, I love that storyline, but still, that's kind of messed up.
well, to be
But
fair, Ryan is a worser person than Austin, right? Like, granted,
about
Austin did.
Ryan, he's a sweetheart.
So anyway, like I said, Ryan, with Austin, I can see that being kind of a scumbag thing to do. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, I can't even sit there and approve of that move. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Well, at least he's not a stupid doctor like they made Finn and Liz look stupid, saying that Peter was dead, so they put him in the freezer, but then he's still alive. I'm like, a
Yeah.
doctor and nurse checked him out and said that he was dead. How is he still alive? Yeah, that's another reason to not like Peter or his anything about his story.
I'm still, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still hoping that it's Peter coming out to Anna. Even though
I mean, I
I
wouldn't be
get it.
surprised, but still, no, I don't need him back.
Oh, you don't need him back in the long monologues and
No,
the villainous, the cartoonishness. Not fan of it. No, yeah, I get it.
no.
I get it. I feel like the only people that actually do like Peter is like me and DC. That's it. Out of all the reviewers, everyone else just cannot stand Peter except for me and DC.
Well,
Damn
everybody
shame.
deserves a supporter, I guess.
Hmm.
No.
Um, Crazy. But before we do sit there and I guess kind of wrap this up, is there any last words you want to sit there and say as far as your final thoughts of these soaps?
Um, why not they need to try to do something else besides talk about work? I
Or
feel
you don't
that's
like all you don't like all you don't like all the business stuff? Talking about business?
I mean, it's interesting to talk about business, but that seems like the only thing that they talk about, except for, every once in a while to talk about something else, but then it goes back into business. I'm like, Lordy. I was like, all the other soaps talk about business too, but at least Young and the Restless, they actually do some work. The other soaps, some people don't even have offices, but they talking about work.
They need what they need to get is some people some of those damn homes instead of always sleeping in the damn hotel all the time. That's what they need to be
Yes.
doing.
Why is summer in the
That's,
hotel? go,
yeah,
go,
she's
go,
rich.
go at the ranch. Oh, get
Yes,
your place. Why are you in the hotel? Oh Lordy. And she all sad about Kyle. Girl,
I know. I can't defend that move. I can't. Don't get me wrong. I like Audra. I do, but like as a man, I can't sit there and defend what Kyle's doing. That's just some straight up scumbagish
mm,
stuff. I can't do it. We sit there and we look at Kyle. We're like, we don't claim him. We don't. He don't belong to our tribe.
yeah, he turned into a complete asshole. Oh Lordy. No, I don't like him anymore.
Well,
No.
he's trying the bad boy route, so I respect it. I mean, he's getting people pissed off. He's making people upset with him, like you. So he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job.
Yeah.
I'll give him that much. I will give him that much. So I think we kind of covered practically all the soaps. Really did.
Born to be beautiful. They need to find something else to do about still talking about everybody else's marriages.
Brooke
They
needs
live
to
in
do it. Brooke,
LA. Go out and party or something. Nope. I never seen anybody go to like a bar or, a club or something. Like y'all are boring. Just sit in that your small little houses and talk about other people's business. Or in Eric's office and talk about everybody's business.
exactly. And Eric's. I love how you said that. In Eric's office, where Eric is actually not working. He's not getting anything done because everybody else is in his goddamn office. Feel bad
You
for
changed
him.
a
I
lot.
do. Exactly. I think hopefully he does next week. I feel bad for my boy Santa Claus. Okay, I do. There's something about him just being cold and nice that just like I feel for him. Okay, I do
Yeah.
because nobody deserves to be taken advantage of that. And I feel like because he just has so much of a kind nature. I mean, people are eating lunch in his office. This guy owns Forrester Creations, and people are disrespecting him by eating pizza and stuff like that in his office. How'd you know? How'd you know? No, 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 no. My
Don't even
boy is
bring
right
him
for something.
nothing.
Exactly. They need to get back. He needs to reclaim his office. I'm with it. Hopefully, I'll say this much before we go. Hopefully, they do a lot better than that ED storyline that they had him doing.
What's that?
ED, his joystick wasn't working for Quinn, but it had no problem working for
Oh,
Donna. Yeah,
I
that's
didn't know that. When I came in, he was cheating. Well, for the first couple months, I didn't see him really, and then he was cheating with Donna. I'm like, okay,
uh,
so I
he
didn't
came in a
know
little
that
bit
was
late.
the problem. So Quinn didn't do it for him anymore.
No, no, no. But Donna with that honey, he came out with that honey. And that was it. Just fix it up real quick.
He had to learn pickleball. I still never Googled what that was. I just leave it at that's code for sex.
That's what Rich was meant to say. And that's the thing. When he was cheating, he kept talking about, "Oh yeah, I'm going out there to do pickleball."
Yeah, that's what
And
I
Rich was like, "Oh,
want
exactly." And Rich was like, "Oh, so that's what the kids are calling it these days." What he didn't know was that he was, you know what? I'm not gonna sit there and say what he was doing. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this live very PG-13. Okay, very family friendly. Okay, got Danny Bear over here snitching trying to corrupt me. Blame you for that. All on you, Danny. All on you.
Well, I got a dirty mind, so.
See, she has a very cute and innocent smile. But now we're starting to see some of the real Danny Bear coming out. Okay. All right. Good to know.
I'm innocent.
Yeah, okay. We gonna talk some more. We're gonna find out just how innocent you are. That's what we're gonna do. But yes, I do want to sit there and thank you, Danny B. I want to thank everyone for joining. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. I know we started kind of late, but my laptop had a mind of its own, so we had to sit there and restart everything. Listen, if you are not subscribed to Danny Bear, check her out. She also does. You put out your videos on Saturday or Sunday.
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, so definitely check her channel out. Subscribe to her channel. She puts her videos on Saturday. She does Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, and General Hospital. And every now and then she watches Young and the Restless because her favorite character is Victor Newman. That's her favorite character, people. I stand by that 10 toes down.
No.
She just likes her. She just loves her mustache man.
No, he's my least favorite Victor.
Like I said, it's her favorite character. Don't believe her. She was telling me that off camera before we started.
You lying.
Okay. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining. Stay safe. Definitely check her channel out. If you are a member, I'll be coming back on at 8 p.m. We're going to be sitting there getting into it. You know how we do. So if you're not a member, definitely join. And yeah, we will see y'all in the next live stream. Laters.
Bye.